Man, this podcast sure is interesting, but gosh darn it, I wish I wasn't so freaking alone. Hey, Jimbo, could you fill one up for me?
Ah, yes, Tallulah Pharaoh. Would you like a little Johnson with your refill? Tallulah Pharaoh. Little Johnson?
You keep saying that. I don't know what that means.
Little Johnson? Oh, you don't know about it.
What's that over there?
Whoa! Ah. Yes, hello. Bingus, would you like your coffee?
Bingus. What is...
Here you go. Here's your coffee, Tallulah Pharaoh.
Thank you.
Tallulah, that's a pretty sweet name.
Throw up.
Anything could happen.
It's Bingus. That's about good. All right. What's up, gamers?
So, gamers. Sorry, I don't want to peak the volume.
No, that's all right. The video is going to be out of focus a lot anyway. Okay. The second one that I recorded, I zoomed it in too much for a few clips, so there's like a good 45 minutes where it's like just half of my head and me just rambling, and you can barely see me, so it's all right.
Okay.
This is a very not well put together show. Very scrappy, over here.
You make do.
We make do, yes, we do.
Really.
So, introduce yourself. This is my first guest. Could you believe it?
Let's give it a round of applause for me.
Woo!
I did it.
You're here.
I'm Trey. I don't know. I don't do anything.
And we watch movies.
We watch movies.
What was the first movie that we really bonded over? Do you feel like you can remember like a first?
No, to be honest, I don't know if I mean, maybe Yellow Submarine.
That was early.
The first, like, kind of shared movie.
It was early, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's a great movie.
Great movie, yeah. I'll probably talk about it someday, too. I feel like I have to. There it is. I'm repping the sport.
You kind of have to.
I do have to, don't I? Yeah. And, I bought yellow DVDs for our thing. I haven't even talked about this on the channel, too. It's just, like, been in the background.
Well, it doesn't need it.
It doesn't need any explanation, no, and there won't be. There won't be. Yeah, everyone knows a classic when they see one. That's right. But that's why I chose yellow, though, because I like the look of a yellow DVD, So, we have the best double feature ever on our docket right here. Literally, the only consistency is they're from 2015.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. That's
why I was asking about Suicide Squad.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even put that together.
Wanted to make sure, yeah. That's it, though. It arguably is the worst double feature ever, even though I like the first movie. It's just like, for like people to watch, like, you're gonna have one movie that people just mostly don't like and don't care for, because they it's weird.
Yeah.
And then Fangirl.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're both pretty, some may call them like deep cuts.
Deep cuts, that's right.
And that doesn't feel right, because I feel like a deep cut,
It's like for a song.
Yeah,
Or, it's
not
also like
necessarily, but like,
good things. Usually.
Yeah, generally it's for, hidden gems or something.
A hidden gem, exactly,
One
yes.
kind of is, I think. And
yeah.
I think,
weirdly
enough, I found out recently that it just by looking it up, Lost River has some low reviews, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people did not like it.
There's a lot of people that didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, I get it, but I think
A little.
You know,
I mean,
it might just be for a lot of people. It was just kind of not their thing. You know.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think they went into it expecting something very different because of who directed it.
Yeah,
and
Gosling.
who was in it. You know, like 'cause it has a very strong cast, but not like a huge star name cast. Other than
At that time, anyway. Well, Saoirse Ronan now is a huge star. That was like right at her breaking point, I would say, 2015, because she did The Lovely Boner around them, and that was a pretty big movie, even though it was kind of really silly.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling was actually going to act in that one, but he showed up like too fat, he said, or something, and Peter Jackson was like, "Oh my God, you're so ugly! Like, get out of here!" Like that literally was what he said. He was
so
like,
ugly. Get out of here.
He thought because Gosling was trying to method act a real dad, so he got like a full-on dad bod and had like a scrappy like do and beard,
So
and he was
then they
too
went to
ugly.
Mark Wahlberg.
So they got Marky Mark, yeah.
Marky Mark.
I wasn't. I was thinking
Funky
that was
Bunch
wrong in my head that it was him. But
Yeah, no, that's him. It's him. He plays the like distressed dad
yeah,
in The Lovely Bones, The Lovely Boner.
the lovely
It's also
boner,
lovely
as
boner.
it is critically
Yeah.
critically referred to as.
Yeah, I watched that movie with someone who really enjoyed it. I just thought it was funny, and it's not. It shouldn't be funny. The subject matter is quite dark. It's like extremely dark.
Yeah, it's about a dead kid.
Yeah, it's about a dead kid because
Yeah.
some like creepy like neighborhood dude fucking like killed her.
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, of Hunger Games fame, as guy with weird hair in Hunger Games.
I mean,
Everyone's favorite character from the show or the movies and books.
we love him. I mean, he's a good actor, you know. I mean, yeah, what a cursed year if that was also in 2015. Let's see. I mean, what? So we've brought up Matt Smith. I mean, we could give a formal introduction to the film. I just want to, I guess, there will definitely be things I will try to bring up and ask you. You know, I'll try to be a very formal host here.
Yeah.
Not actually, though. Not really.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to feel like hosted show-wise when we're just like such close friends.
Oh well, of course. No, I'm not going to go for that at all.
Kind of cadence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really going to go for that at all. I mainly just was trying to remember something I wanted to bring up in relation to what you said, which was I think people don't like Lost Highway not just because it's weird or something. It's a lot of people, because that is definitely part of it. But a lot of people, when they go to films, like people usually are just mainly concerned with what literally happens in the movie. Like the literal actions of the film and the plot and the outcomes, right? But they're not worried about, the style. I mean, the vibe, the environment, the tension, the aesthetic, especially. I think it's ultimately Lost Highway to me is just Ryan Gosling. Lost River. I'm going to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Lost River, Ryan Gosling's 2015 directorial debut. Hopefully he makes another. His only one.
He really should direct another movie. If he's got some ideas floating around to write and direct, he should. I mean, I really liked what he did then. And I feel like, he could do something really nice now.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the time. I mean, like the last big thing that he did really that has come out, I think, has been the Gray Man.
The Gray Man, yes.
And I did not watch that.
Marvel quips, but not Marvel, the movie.
Yeah, Evan Peters not Evan Peters.
Chris Evans. Yeah.
Other Marvel
He's the
guy.
mustache twirling villain.
And he's like funny, quippy. And
It really wasn't though. The jokes were just, "Hey, you have a prison tattoo? Yeah, I could have guessed you went to prison." Like that's actually just what they're saying to you. That's what like a 13-year-old girl says to Ryan Gosling. It's like, yes, the common 13-year-old. Hey, are those prison tattoos? I bet you've been
I could have guessed you'd been to prison.
Also, just saying that to Ryan Gosling, like, does he really look like he's been to jail? Only in Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah, because he was
He
a
was
character
tatted
that
up.
had been to jail, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
was like a
exactly.
Criminal, a hardened criminal.
It was the tats. It was the tats and bleach hair.
Yeah, well, it's the face tats. That's mainly the thing nowadays. Because, it used to be, people with tattoos, you're like a hard person, like you're not to be messed with or whatever because you've been in prison, you're a sailor or a biker or something. Now it's just like, oh, you've got like money to buy tattoos. It's when you start getting to like face tattoos that it really starts to become like, oh, okay. At least in like modern times. Like back then, all tattoos were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But now it's just like face tattoos, and head tattoos.
Yeah, because it's the most like taboo spot to do it or whatever.
Especially if you're like, like a bald white dude.
Oh,
bunch of head tattoos.
Yeah.
It's gonna look
a little sussy.
Like, a lot of people would look at you and be like, oh, okay. Like, they'd have to look at your tattoos first.
It's a certain
like,
vibe.
Right,
a certain vibe. That, you'd have to really pay attention to what tattoos they have. Yeah.
Exactly. And, no, it's just art.
It is just
fun
art.
that it's more commonplace.
Oh, yeah. I definitely
You just have to have money. They're expensive.
Yes, but they're nice.
They're nice.
Art.
It's fun. Yeah.
And I mean, so obviously, right, you could probably gander a camera that I'm speaking to that we like this movie. We like Lost River. You know?
It's a good movie. Hot take. A real hot take. Fresh out of the Krispy Kreme oven.
It actually is a little bit, though.
No, because it's got like fucking, I think
like
it's
a 28
like 40%.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't think it's that low. I don't think it's in the 20s. It might be like 30s or like,
I know it's
like
low
40s.
But their system is
on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not good.
Their
like
system
IMDb,
is terrible.
It's like 5.6 or something.
You can't trust it as a direct reflection though, because the way they Rotten Tomatoes system specifically is like, if a movie has a 38, it's not because everyone rated it like the average score was like a 40. That just means that only 38% of people rated it positively. So a lot of people, to be fair, could have just given it like a 5, you know, or like a 50, whatever it is on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't see a lot of strong, avid hate against the movie. Just a lot of people who kind of were like, whatever, and just sort of
it let
like,
it
breeze by. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, whatever. Go back to acting.
And again,
That
I get it if you just want like a narrative in a movie. If every movie you want to see is just about seeing like a story, like literally like a focused narrative. There is a story, but it's not the focus. To me, I mean,
Lost River is like, I don't know. It's like haunting, and I think it's generally like considered fairy tale-esque. It's kind of like a modern set fairy tale, but it's not really like, I mean, it's modern like in how it's recognizable, like architecture and like technology and stuff, but it's also like kind of a like almost dystopian, or not dystopian, but like
it is.
I guess a bit dystopian.
It is vaguely,
like post-apocalyptic without really any apocalypse, just like a kind of economically downtrodden society.
But brought about by a spell.
Yes.
Because of what is in the movie, which is also like the reason the movie exists. This very intense fear that manifests from these rivers that essentially are towns that have been flooded over, and Ryan Gosling in real life. In Canada somewhere when he was growing up, wherever he's from, he was swimming around or something. Someone was like, "Hey, do you know what's in this river?" And once he learned it, fucking like it scared the bejesus out of him.
I mean, and I can relate to that too, because like I don't like deep bodies of water. The idea of like if I were to be over a deep body of water, someone being like, "Oh, there's a little neighborhood below us. Like there's cars and like towns." Like it's horrible. That's like a whole life down there.
Yeah.
So it's like a very specific haunting kind of thing. But it's a great movie. It's kind of again overlooked. Maybe not exactly unfairly.
I get it specifically from if you wanted a meteor plot. That's literally it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like weird stuff.
It's not super... I mean, I think it's fairly straightforward, but it is...
It is.
It's more nuanced than the average, just, like, average moviegoer's movie. And like 2015, that was like kind of the beginning, really, of like indie movies, kind of making it to the more mainstream, like modern indie movies.
Oh yeah,
you can call them that. Like, Place Beyond the Pines was like 2013.
That was 2012. Yeah. It's definitely right around there for me. Yeah, I'm saying
like a landmark one for like kind of that A24 style thing.
Which to me, personally, I just because I also love these movies, but they broke a lot of ground too. Like I think Whiplash and Birdman in 2014 were the ones that really did it, and then you had Jake Gyllenhaal busting out in Nightcrawler and Enemy. Like that was like
Nightcrawler,
peak acting career for him. You know, like. For me, I feel like 2014, because also Whiplash and Birdman like won a bunch of Oscars, so any year where like an indie-ish movie like that, like Parasite, actually gets attention that it deserves, I think a lot more people that many more people branch out their tastes a little more, you know?
Yeah. It slowly inches its tendrils into everybody's interests. So.
It comes in waves as well, you know. Yeah. The 70s was a time, and the 90s were both a lot of the most popular films of the era. There are as many Jurassic Parks as there are like a Pulp Fiction, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And I think we're getting back to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Ari Aster fan. He's my favorite director.
And I mean, Lost River kind of feels like that a little bit.
It feels in times like, or in certain ways, like definitely the cinematography and kind of the color grading of the movie.
Yeah, right.
Feels a bit, because it's very dreamlike, very fairy tale like, which Ari Aster does that kind of dream/nightmare aesthetic extremely well. And conveys it extremely well, artistically and like stylistically, however you want to put it. Because those films just look magnificent, and they're framed perfectly, like as perfect as you can frame a movie like that.
Yeah.
And you know, because those ones are like horror movies, those are a bit more like, you know, like they get pretty big and they have like their following, but they're not, you know, breakout things, and they're not gonna be nominated for all these awards because it's called a horror movie.
Yeah, horror never gets nominated.
It's like a real fucking shame, because like award shows or whatever, but like if you want to give recognition, you know, obviously give recognition to a lot of people, you know, for all their work, but Ari Aster deserves some fucking recognition.
Oh yeah.
Give the man some trophies.
He could get a best director someday.
He really should.
You know?
And I think Bo is probably the
Bo's
best bet
good
so far. I mean, it's his third theatrical movie.
Not necessarily a horror film either.
Yeah, it's more of a psychological nightmare movie, you know, but also very dreamlike, and I think rooted in just basic, you know, human life, you know, and like experiences. Because that's what Hereditary and Midsommar are. It's like grief, trauma, and then...
But very human about it, though. It's
very real. Yeah, they're very real characters that get caught up in these absurd situations that they had no, you know, idea of, or like any way to prepare for these situations, and then they're just thrust into them, and they act accordingly, which is, to, you know, to be honest, fucking confused and usually terrified, because that's just how it goes. Like especially Midsommar, they're just they're there for this fun trip. And then, you know, no spoilers, but shit goes weird. It gets weird. And they deal accordingly to their characters and, like, what they've been through. Like, with Dani, what we see, what she goes through more intimately, because she's the protag. And then you've got Christian, who is an interesting character in his own way. In other ways, not interesting at all. But
I think
he's got... you know, some sympathy to be garnered still, even though he's not framed in the best ways. But I think that's done on purpose, you know. You
could be empathetic with him towards, with some things, even though he fucks up a lot.
Yeah, he's not perfect. And again, that makes it more human. Like, these characters feel realistic in these horribly unrealistic situations.
I mean, that's
best
why
way.
it makes an impact, though, because it's not like Truth or Dare or something, or Slender Man, where it's like every character. Midsummer does this a little bit, but like every or Bye Bye Man, where every character. They don't know about the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
I feel like a lot of people
they
have
don't
seen
know.
that image.
They don't know.
Probably seen the.
Oh no, I meant our.
Oh well, yeah,
Pee
of
Pee
course.
Man.
That's
He's
that's a
coming.
whole
Yeah,
different
he's coming.
entity. I forgot about that, to be honest.
It's been a bitch to
Yeah.
get together, just because my software kind of sucks, but it's coming along.
I might sneeze on the podcast.
You might.
There's a lot of pollen.
Yeah, there you go. That's our first sneeze, everyone.
First sneeze. Yeah.
First sneeze.
Fucking pollen in February.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it came
It's
early.
the end of the world.
You just
Ragnarok's
doxed
here.
us,
It's
bro.
over.
You said it was February. You just doxed us.
Calendar-wise, yeah, I've just doxed us.
But that though is why I like Hereditary and Midsommar were impactful to people. Again, Midsommar has this cliche a little bit, but most horror movies follow characters, like a lot of the Saw movies too, where they're terrible people, where the goal, the fun that you get out of it is, let's watch these terrible people die. But it's like the emotional experience, you know, will hit much harder if you actually care about these people, if you feel upset when they suffer. I mean, especially Midsommar, like really getting there with Danny, you know, in Hereditary, the kids, like they're the empathy really shines there. And then because you brought up Ari because of cinematography. What's his face? Gosling there. His cinematographer for Lost River. There is the cinematographer for Gaspar Noé, this French filmmaker who makes these fucking wacky movies, where about flying inside of women's pussies and getting cummed on and everything. It's really fun.
It's really fun.
It's really fun, guys.
It's a slippery
honestly,
slope.
they're not all fun. I'll be honest with you. Some of them are quite dark, but Gosling going out of his way to put someone like that on his team, someone with this really stark, like colorful approach, and also highly, lots of momentum, lots of movement, and very free-willing kind of movement.
It
felt great
for that type of movie.
Yeah,
Like it
helps
felt
it a lot.
Like it just like a firm handshake,
Yeah,
Just like everything else, it all links up, and I think it makes like a really solid film. And yeah, the music is fantastic.
Music is
just
good.
The overall sound design, I think, is great. Like when Matt Smith is riding around and yelling through his like megaphone setup. I mean, that's just great because it's Matt Smith yelling his fucking head off, being crazy, which is always fun. Which Ryan Gosling specifically saw from Doctor Who.
Yeah, him
from
yelling,
Matt Smith's debut episode when he's yelling up at the eyeball
That's the first one,
aliens.
yeah.
It's after he regenerates. He's like getting dressed and he's trying on the ties and shit. And he saw that because he just happened to flip on to see Doctor Who, and he was like, yeah, fuck it. He saw that and he was like, damn, this guy's awesome.
I mean,
And
he is one of the best.
Then he's like, he brought him to the movie and got him in and was like, hey, can you just yell?
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
This is really great. And
Literally,
so he did.
yes.
He yelled his fucking head off. And there's just a lot of like really great moments.
Here, wait, hold that thought. What are some great moments from this film, Trey?
Right off the top of my head, I gotta go with the iconic Morbius dance move.
Another
what's
film.
happening in that scene is not exactly funny.
The
But-
scene outside the gas station?
No. When he's
Or Ben Mendelsohn's dance scene?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ben Mendelsohn's
okay,
dance scene
yeah.
with the
Because Matt
chamber.
Smith also dances in the movie.
Yes,
Literally
yeah,
a Morbius
he does
scene.
do like a Morbius thing.
But yes,
Yeah.
that is a really, I do remember and when we were watching the film, I do remember that was a moment that you had an auditory reaction to, where you were literally just like, oh, this is great.
It was
Because
fucking
it was
amazing.
really wild in that moment. That was definitely one of the more
It's
wild
just
moments.
so weird, and I think that's probably a moment that gave a lot of people that reason to go, I didn't really like it. You know,
Yeah,
I think a lot of people saw that because it is a hard scene to watch, you know, and it's, you know, like, should we go into it? Like, what's going on? Okay, so, like, content warning, you know, and spoilers, of course, for the movie Lost River. Please watch it.
Please watch it, yeah.
This woman is essentially, you know, being assaulted, and like harassed, you know, before she's, you know, perceivably assaulted by this guy just kind of boogieing. He just starts.
Yeah, it's not too overly graphic.
Yeah,
but it's the way that he's like chasing her and cornering her that is where the suspense comes
and it kind of reminds me of like Bob from Twin Peaks.
Oh,
and
God.
that sort of playful evil nature.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
yeah.
that is a specific kind of like dig into an evil character in anything, like is that they're like playfully evil. Like the Cenobites are a good example from Hellraiser. They're like their whole thing is like fucking with you for fun.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
them
like,
I barely
and
even
all that
classify as evil because they like ask the people, like they don't, they usually don't do it without consent. It's kind of like a
you like
fuck around, find out type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, Bob, it is kind of that.
Like that playful, evil, like sadistic nature. Sadistic with a smile is really like the worst, you know.
Yeah, especially by the end, because he starts out as like just their like cunty banker that is trying to like rip them off.
Kind of a shithead.
Or not even rip them, like push them out of their house is more what he's trying to do.
Then he essentially gets what's the mom into like dancing and whatever, and just like these weird performances where like the lady gets like stabbed or something, or like bit by a snake.
Yes, because it's a whole love story to
sensual,
Detroit like performance arts, and so there's these weird ragtime shows where people like fake their deaths or what, like it'll just be like a what do they call it, a pinup girl like just getting stabbed and then she winks at everyone and that's it. Played by Ryan Gosling's wife as well.
Yep.
Who and you know, a fun little role to watch, because that was pretty much her whole part there, was to just play the silly actress who gets like stabbed for funsies or whatever. I liked that. That
you can have a lot of fun with that kind of role. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, Ben and Matt looked like they were the ones having the real fun. You know, I love watching them, especially Matt, like chew up that fucking scenery.
Yeah, no, he really is. He was just a perfect pick for that movie.
Oh yeah,
he fit that role very well. That just his name is literally Bully. You know,
Bully.
That's just the character's name.
Bully's bones.
Yeah.
That my favorite, my personal favorite scene is that first time that he like sort of sniffs out that Bones, the main character, is like gathering copper because that's like
gang scrappers, yes.
It's a form of currency in this like dystopia, and he gets chased out of Bully's area, and that part where he literally the scene is just Matt Smith screaming at the top of his lungs like outside. That, and when he's dancing with the guerrilla filmmaking scene of the real people who walked up and was just like, what the hell are you doing? And he just dances with this old lady outside a gas station. And Ryan Gosling was apparently terrified during that little Nat season. Well, he was apparently terrified during that. Because he, a Canadian in the presence of black strangers at night, I mean, hey, that's pretty scary.
Oh, poor Canada, man. Their prime minister, he puts on black.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Multiple times.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're marked for life. I don't know.
Yeah, he just does this little thing,
he just
and then
did
all of a
this little thing
sudden,
in college a couple
it's
times.
this big deal.
Well documented. Serial blackfacer, Justin Trudeau.
After college.
Love you, Canada.
Yeah, you're right.
Right north.
Seems fun. Seems cool.
Yeah.
Well, and Ryan Gosling's Canadian. I mean, I know I already said that, but gotta circle it back to him, specifically him. I mean, I don't I don't know about you, but I have been a fan of him for a while. I will say.
Yeah, I've always liked him because I mean I didn't really know who he was until I watched The Place Beyond the Pines, and that became
and Drive,
a
of
favorite movie
course.
for me. Yeah, and Drive. Yeah, voice crack, classic.
Drive. Yeah,
Drive.
I've done a few.
But yeah, I saw Place Beyond the Pine well before I ever saw Drive actually, and I just loved it for the aesthetic, how kind of somber it was, and the scenery too. Literally, Place Beyond the Pines. It's just right in the title there. The soundtrack, it got me into Bon Iver. Love that music.
Yeah, that's right.
Love all of Justin Vernon's stuff. It's very good.
Featured Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, Dane DeHaan was in it. He's in the latter half.
As Ryan Gosling's son.
Yeah, and Bradley Cooper is in it. I think
Bradley Cooper was pretty good in it.
And honestly, I feel like hot take. I like Bradley Cooper. I think he's.
I don't
he's
think
a pretty
that's
good actor.
Too hot. Yeah.
Well, I feel like people just kind of like. I don't know. Has he really done much now since he's become Rocket Raccoon? It really feels.
He doesn't
like
really have to.
He doesn't done much. He hasn't done much.
There was like American Sniper.
Recently.
Of
course, yeah, American Sniper. Wow, yeah, he was.
Well,
great
he
in that.
did the.
He was very good in that.
He was also doing movies with the guy who. There's been footage outed of him now, just treating all his actors terrible. Mainly the ladies. It's easier to bully women, naturally. He what's his fucking... I don't remember the name of the fucking cunt, and it's fine, but he did Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, and those two films both had Bradley Cooper. Silver Linings came out the same year as Hunger Games, and that got, Jennifer her Oscar, and Bradley was great in it too. He was nominated for that, and... the other one, American Hustle. He's worked with that filmmaker.
He did the Lady Gaga movie.
That was his last. That was his last big actorly thing. Yeah,
because now he's Rocket Raccoon yet again.
Which is a fun role, to be fair. I mean, you get to voice the
you get to sing a bunch.
Raccoon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Lady Gaga.
Oh well, that too. Yes, because he got to just play guitar and act drunk
and like sing with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. But no, Raccoon. I mean, that's a role of a lifetime right there.
Yeah. Do you think let me ask you a question. Do you think if Ryan Gosling had cameoed in the movie that it would have kind of ruined it in some way? Do you think that would have made it goofy, I should say? Maybe not ruined it, but like it kind of like breaks it a little bit, like that's a little fissure in it if he was in it, I would think.
My serious answer is no, but my goof answer is we did have that joke when we were watching it, because there is a little after credit scene of The Lost River. And, we had a little joke of Gosling just kind of, like, over a still frame of it. The footage isn't even moving anymore. It's just a frame, and he just... Hello? What? Where'd everyone go? And then at one point you could be like, selfie!
Where did everyone go? That's like, I feel like movies need to do that again.
They've done it.
There's a movie that I personally enjoy, and I think we've discussed this and how you don't really enjoy it, is the live-action Three Stooges movie.
We watched it. I had fun when we watched it on your birthday.
I think it's a piece of modern comedic gold. It's slapstick in one of its purest forms.
I just don't know who it's for. That's my main thing.
I know exactly who it's for, because it's for...
Well, it's for you.
It's for my dad, because he grew up watching it. My dad's an older man, so he grew up watching Three Stooges as a kid and all the time, and Monty Python and all of that. So a lot of that got fed into me. And then this new one comes out, and he can enjoy it, and I can enjoy it because it's new, and I'm like a little kid, so I'm like, I don't like old shit. So I wouldn't watch old shit, really. And so we watched this one, and we both kind of, like, enjoy it. It's for that specific kind of pocket.
Oh, no,
otherwise, it is just, like, a goofy slapstick that you can enjoy. And it's not, like, a perfect movie, but... I think it works extremely well as slapstick. But there's a point in the credits, this is why I bring it up at all. there's a point in the credits where the two directors, I want to say they're brothers, but they're at least like a duo of directors.
They just come out.
Yeah, they're like they show up at the end and they're like, so let's say like I'm gonna use this as like a prop here.
Please.
Say they've got like a bunch of tools and like
Oh
stuff,
yeah, and they're like,
just like
this
none
is
of these
how
were real.
Yes.
See, they're all rubber, and they like they're like moving around. They're just like and
yeah,
like,
that is silly.
And they're like, don't do this with real ones. You'll get fucking hurt. Like they really, they do a good job. I feel like movies need to do that a bit more because like people will stay
Real
for credits all the
PSAs.
time now.
Now they will.
So if you make like a movie that's like pretty engaging, there's gonna be people that stay for the credits. So if you put something, even if there's 2 people in the theater of like 30 that are willing to sit through these whole credits, just in case there's a morsel. Yeah, it feels more special to them because everyone else left, and also, it's like a little reward, I guess. Like good job. You thought there would be like an MCU build-up where Nick Fury comes in and he asks Tallulah Farrow to join the Avengers.
But no, instead we just tell you that Larry David actually did not get hit in the head with a brick.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I know exactly what you mean about like who it was for, like in their lives. I mean more in like the age range of like the same I would say with like a lot of Sandler's comedies. It's like they are like middle school humor, but they're adult movies, and they also kind of take. Three Stooges didn't take itself very seriously, but Adam Sandler's movies always have to have the
I would say Adam
love
Sandler's
plot.
movies are for lenient parents. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
And I would put, Three Stooges is edgy.
It's movies that parents would take their kids to if they really, like, they trust them to not be, like, shitheads and to, like, laugh at something. Yeah. So they'd take them to see, like, Click. And, the family would be like, oh, Adam Sandler goes, oh, like, so.
Pixels.
Yeah, Pixels doesn't count.
Also 2015.
That movie's just terrible.
That
one's
movie
just
is
flat
terrible.
out bad. Like,
Kevin
you
James
can
is
like
the
laugh
president.
at Jack and Jill because of how absurd it is.
Oh,
that
you get the Al
Pacino's there,
Pacino.
like,
Yeah,
Don
exactly.
Pacino, like,
This should be perfect. That's
like
it's
it
great.
just does not make sense. It doesn't feel
Pixels
real.
is
Which is
just
why you need to watch it.
Oh, great! Kevin James is the president.
He's
and
the
it's
president.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's here.
This is so fun.
Donkey Kong. Actually, Donkey Kong probably wasn't in it. Nintendo does not like that unless it's theirs.
He may not have been.
Yeah.
Probably just like the Tetris shapes or something.
Yeah, no, that's actually get like fucking Space Invaders.
Space Invaders, yeah. 2015, am I right? What a year.
And we've really like there's a lot of good ideas and a lot of bad ideas that year. That really was the year.
Oh yeah, that was the year, wasn't it? Well, the 2010s were just such a fucking time.
2016 was when the universe kind of like everything got all messed up.
That's when we entered the B
Yeah,
universe.
they turned on the Large Hadron Collider or whatever, and then a squirrel got caught in it, and everyone freaked out.
And Prince died.
Everyone started. People were dying before
Rickman
that,
died.
but like after that, the
Harambe
Cubs won the
died.
World Series for the first time in like 108 years.
You have the
Like,
fucking New York scammer become a president. You have
all kinds of shit just happen in 1 year, and then everyone was. It was like we all just had to keep living. Like we just had to keep going.
We couldn't live without Harambe.
Yeah, and then now look, here we are in current year.
I'm doing hard without him. I can't lie. It's hard. It's
him,
hard to get by. I miss him. I do.
Yeah, I really do. My dick's always been out for him.
It has.
It really has. It's starting to get like scarred now. Like wind and hail, dirt, all just gets in there.
Release the
But it's out for
Harambe
him.
cut of Lost River, where instead of Ryan Gosling coming in for the end credit scene, it's just
Harambe dragging a 3-year-old into frame.
and then we watch him actually beat that child to
He
death.
didn't beat the child. The child lived. I think he got like some scrapes.
Good on ya.
As far as I remember, the kid got like some scrapes.
But also fuck that kid because
fuck that kid.
It's your fault.
Fuck those parents.
That Harambe is gone.
Fuck those parents.
Oh yeah, them too.
Why would you let your kid fall into the gorilla enclosure?
Oh no, they are definitely responsible.
If you're gonna drop your kid in any enclosure, you'd pick like the flamingos because like you're probably banking on like there's no way
Even
they weren't.
then, like
they had to know
they
like
have those
oops.
Yeah.
Like That's a gorilla. That's gonna like
You don't
grab
want
it.
it
Like
near
they were
that,
so
yeah.
lucky that the gorilla didn't just like pick it up and like throw it like 45 feet in the air. It's not like
Yeah.
it could. You know, thank God it was like just some like just chilled out for the moment like zoo gorilla. It was probably just like ooh fucking. Ooh. I say it is Harambe. You know, we know. His
Yeah,
name.
we know.
We know his name. We know his story.
Yeah.
You know, we need to keep him, in our thoughts.
I just like putting the burden on children.
It's easy. They're
It is very easy
They're
after
culpable,
all.
you know,
They don't get it.
They don't understand.
They can't fight back with logic.
It's
They
like-
don't understand.
That's a pretty funny visual, like a policeman, like hard interrogating.
What did you
a child.
do?
28 stab wounds. Like some like kid. That's horrible. Actually, that's probably happened. But like
Oh,
old, like
yeah.
the 1940s, like someone gets stabbed and they're like, my son was home, my wife got stabbed, and they're like, oh my god, and
Yeah.
they like drag the kid out of his fucking bed in his PJs.
Actually, yes.
Why
yeah.
did you kill your mom? He's like, what? Snot bubbles. It's a whole thing.
Literally, actually, yes.
They all saw in
That's
black and
what
white back
fucking,
then, so it's rough.
what's it called? I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird kind of takes from that a little bit. Real child who just got the fucking chair.
Yeah.
For a murder that would have been actually impossible for them to have committed.
Yeah, people really were just like about killing kids for
Killing black people and killing kids. Let's do it. America in the 30s be like.
Fucked up shit for years.
Yeah.
Now we just make cool movies like Lost River.
Pretty cool movies about America, actually.
About
Set
America.
in a
Yeah, set
American
in-
wasteland.
Yeah, that's
That
a good way to put
is
it.
vaguely
Tony Hawk's
kind of
American
about
fairy
that.
tale wasteland, yeah.
It literally is like a fairy tale that uses like I love how kind of toned down it is when you are just following like bones going around the town, and it just is like a bit of a wasteland, like, and mainly that's mainly given by the tone and the feeling. Because otherwise, if there was none of that music or color grading or the way the camera moved, it would just feel like some sad people in America. And then once you get into the town and you see the weird fucking shows
Just
and
everything,
the neon light chamber with the fucking suction thing that people go inside of for whatever reason.
Well, I think that was for the so they could
it's
go
just
get
been
stabbed.
too long.
Yeah, that's.
It was
the
a
dancers,
suicide
like,
machine?
Yeah, the like performers would get in, and that would allow them to like project themselves on the stage to get horribly murdered without actually dying.
Oh, right.
So and it like locks them. That's why she
Okay,
gets
yes.
like assaulted, is because she's locked in.
Yes.
To the chamber, and the guy starts going like.
Starts being a freak. Yeah.
Starts boogieing on her. It's not fun.
What was
but
this?
it's kind of fun.
We started playing a song to that too. Do
Yeah,
you
we
remember what it
played
was?
the like exit.
Oh yeah, because
We played
Morbius. Yeah, yeah.
That was right around the Morbius. Suite.
Yeah, and it did work too. It worked better
Yeah,
than it
no,
works in Morbius.
It made it even funnier, which is not a good thing. It should not. You should not laugh at the scene.
The scene
but it's
inherently is not funny. It is Ben Mendelsohn
Contextually,
and his
it's-
silly dances.
fun. Yeah, you know.
The
that's like-
moment is very tense.
I feel like that's like if we started posting that with like funny songs over it, it would be a meme. You know?
Oh, it
It's
would.
like, 'cause it's a very like unique like little kind of number he does.
Yeah.
So you know you could meme that horribly tense
Well,
scene.
Gosling also just has a great sense of humor too, and I think
true.
it is. You know, I don't think he took himself too seriously making it either, because you have, I don't know, a lot of moments where characters, like the actors, are just being like a little extra weird, and it's like, were they just memeing in that moment? Like, do you remember when it's earlier on and Bones is learning about sort of the mystery of the Lost River through Cerise's character. I do not remember the name of it at
It's
this
like
moment.
through the video, right? He's watching
Yeah, they're
the
watching a
old
video,
infomercial kind of thing.
and that actually kind of adds to how he looks in the shot too, because he starts doing this like fucking Kubrick stare. I remember we were both like, "Why is he being such like a creep?" Because he starts like, like he starts
getting
doing
weird.
and like she's just like telling a story, and he's like,
Yeah, he gets pretty evil. He starts. He's trying to blow up the TV with his mind.
That's not, but that's not like who he is as a character either.
No,
so I'm
he's
like,
not
is he
evil.
just me? Or were they just memeing?
That's the whole thing. Is he's sort of like.
Oh
he's
yeah.
The, you know.
Very skittery, you know.
He's like the little
because he's
guy.
young. He's a young kid in this kind of pretty scary environment. I mean, literally, like the threat of like if he's seen by this one guy, even he's just gonna kill him and his family.
He's gonna beat him up.
Because he's got a younger sibling.
What is it? He's got
take care of,
scissors
too.
He like cuts people's lips off.
Yes.
That's what he does. Is he cuts people's Matt Smith's character in Bully? He cuts their lips off with a scissor. There's a point where he cuts a guy's lips off with a scissor, and it's really goofy.
I more so remember the rat. I remember the rat more, like, because Cerise, she was like the rat girl or whatever. That was part of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
she had a rat.
Yeah,
my God,
and then he like fucking
he kills the rat with scissors.
cuts up the rat. Yeah, some of it is.
What a horrible scene! Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Yeah, he really does just fuck up this girl's rat with
He's
some
like
scissors.
talking with her all calmly, and then at the end he just fucking.
He's like, she's like, oh my God!
It's a good scene.
It's again rough scene, but man, is it funny.
Yeah.
And it's quite good. You know, it's effective.
I think if they really took the like if there was a feeling remotely at all of like we're making the best movie ever, I think that would have taken it down a lot. The movie to me, you know, when people see things that are more unique in any way, and really in any way, like it is easy to just be like, well, that's pretentious because it's artistic, and being artsy to some people at all is to be pretentious. But I wouldn't call the film pretentious because I don't think it's up its own ass. I really think it is just what it is, you know, and it is fine with like allowing these moments to kind of make you laugh a little bit because they're so out there. Him grabbing this girl's rat and fucking slicing it up. It's fucked up,
man.
but there is a black comedy to it in that way. And that is kind of Gosling as a person from what I gather of him, like watching interviews and the projects he picks. You know, he clearly has a funny side with Nice Guys, and you know, probably Barbie. I'm sure he'll be pretty funny.
Oh yes,
as Ken.
yes, much
you know,
awaited this year.
much awaited
It's
indeed.
like what, June, May?
The boys and I pulling up. Yes, I don't know when it is, but I very well may pay money to see it if people are liking it.
Yeah, I think
I
might
will
see
watch
in
it.
theaters.
I'm not sure if I'll see it in theaters, but I might.
I think I might. Margot Robbie and Ryan
I do
Gosling
need to be
as
high.
Ken and Barbie. I mean, come on.
I need to be
it's gonna be great.
on that
Who's making it
Zaza,
again?
you know.
I know there's something decent behind it.
Greta.
Greta Van Fleet, yes.
Greta Van Fleet. Yep,
Yeah.
they're
Critically acclaimed.
They're
not Led
done
Zeppelin.
making music.
They're done making Led Zeppelin.
They're done making Led Zeppelin. They are making Barbie now.
Making the Barbie.
It's Greta something. She made a indie film. Oh well, actually, I mean, Little Women really kind of blew her up a bit. She made an indie film called Frances Ha that people really enjoy. Or she didn't even direct it. She just stars in it. So that actually kind of even more so. She's a very talented person. There's a wide range of talent. She's an actress and a director, and Little Women has Cerise as well too. You know, another little tie-in there.
Did not come out in 2015.
Didn't come out in 2015 though. Came out in 2019, which was another banger year.
That was a good year.
Very good year.
Yeah, Midsommar.
The fucking Irishman. The Lighthouse, Parasite.
Yeah, you want to talk about
Uncut
the
Gems.
Irishman? You want to talk about the Irishman?
Well, that would
be like a
we
whole
could do an
3-hour
episode of that someday, though.
Yeah, I just specifically
I'd love to watch that one again.
Because of course the CGI, the deep faking.
Oh, it's a little
Robert De
silly.
Niro.
It's a little silly.
For the most part, it's not bad. Like early on, when he's like,
it's
when he's the
movements.
truck driver, obviously, yeah, he moves like an old man.
Yeah.
And then there's the infamous when he's beating up
That's
the guy.
exactly.
That is the scene that everyone's like,
hilarious.
this part fucking sucks. But yeah, it's like, it looks like shit, but it's fucking funny. Is the subject matter funny? No, but it's like this 80-year-old Robert De Niro
with a 30-year-old face. Yeah, clearly
he's
whimpering at every movement because it hurts.
And the guy's really hamming it up. He's like, oh, stop! No. He's like getting kicked, and Robert De Niro's just like,
don't come back here.
Don't slap my toilet. I can't do Robert De Niro, man.
I don't even get taken out that much by the face. Yeah, it
the
definitely
face,
is.
for the most part, it's not bad.
Those movements when you
and
can when
the
they get
better
a full
parts
body.
of the movie is like Hoffa and beyond. So.
The movie within itself is so good for a myriad of reasons that that could not bring it down really at all.
No, I don't think it really brings it down. Definitely not for me. I love it. It's just it is you can see it.
Oh yeah,
there's no way you're not gonna see it. But once you get over it, it's fine. It's kind of it's my ethos on the movie Solo. Once you get past that, it's not Harrison Ford. It will never be Harrison Ford again. He doesn't want to do it. They're not going to deep fake him for this one. They're getting him for Indiana Jones, though. To be honest, I might see that in theaters too because it looks so. Goofy.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I mean,
I
will be. I will react to it as it is. You know?
React.
But as someone who loves Indiana Jones, I would obviously hope that it's good.
It can't be worse than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I feel like they know. And I feel like Harrison Ford
boring, that would make it worse.
I feel like Harrison Ford wouldn't have committed in his autumn years.
He does seem passionate about
because they've delayed this movie 3 times because he's broken bones for this. So I truly do think that he is hopeful for this movie and that he enjoys it enough to have continued to commit after breaking bones multiple times. So I look forward to that.
I do. I definitely do. And it's I forget what the director has specifically done, but he has some fine stuff. The guy who's directing it this time around.
I can't even remember. It's like
James Mangold.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Who I think that literally is the American Sniper guy. Ford v Ferrari is one that I'm pretty sure he did. I wanna check. I wanna.
Vice did he?
No, that's oh god, that's the fucking guy who does the Big Short. I'm pretty sure,
okay.
or at least people involved with the Big Short were involved with Vice. It was Adam McKay. Oh no, the guy who did. Oh wait, no, yes, he was involved with it, with the Big Short, but he also did goddamn fucking Don't Look Up, which was a movie that
I liked that movie.
You liked that movie?
I did.
Oh
yeah,
man, that movie was killing me.
I don't know. I didn't really get all the issue with the movie. Again, it's very on the nose topical, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I found it quite refreshing that Leo was playing this shitty goofball.
Sure.
That does a shitty thing, and then when faced with the end of the world, he's like, "Damn, I did a shitty thing. I'm being a shitty person. I'm done. I'm gonna go try not to be a shitty person with whatever time we got." And the end, it's very corny. The end, I think, is probably a lot of people's thing. But
that's not my main.
When you're making an end of the world thing, but when you're making an end of the world thing,
just didn't land for me.
You can't really do an ending where they stop the end of the world. In movies in a modern Us Now, 2022.
Oh well, I understand the frame of mind it was coming from.
You can't stop it, but it is kind of corny. But once again.
So yeah, we've we're talking a lot about a lot of other movies, which is fine. But I guess if you'd like to share any final thoughts about Lost River, as we have another film to discuss.
It's a double feature, yeah.
A special double feature.
Yeah, again, it's just a good movie that I think didn't get the right eyes on it at the time. And I think there's a great capacity for people to watch it now. So if anyone's seen this, is interested in Ryan Gosling and indie movies in general, like A24 style movies, and of course Matt Smith. A lot of people know Matt Smith.
Matt
He's
Smith
in
and Ben Mendelsohn.
fucking House of the Dragon. He's in
Oh, yeah.
Morbius guy.
He's
Doctor
the
Who.
Morbius guy.
He's the guy right now. So
He is
yeah.
pretty awesome.
Or he's one of the guys. There's a few the guys right now. It's like him and Pedro Pascal are the guys.
Pedro Pascal really is the guy right now.
Yeah, man.
And that's pretty good. That's a good guy to choose as the guy.
But yeah, it's a great movie. Don't watch it if you like rats. Probably won't
That's
like
true.
the movie.
Trigger warning for the rat
Yeah,
lovers
trigger warning
out there.
for rat lovers and like, you know.
Actual
Again, the movie does
trigger
have some
warning for that.
Yeah,
sure,
some
yeah.
dark subject matter.
But it isn't
Yeah.
grotesque with it, though. It does a good job of treating that pretty maturely, I would say.
Yeah.
The parts where he's skewing up a rat feels more like, all right, well, this is fucking,
Yeah,
this is pretty silly.
It's really weird sometimes, but in a fun way. And the like little bits of, you know, the B-roll that Ryan Gosling got around Detroit.
Yeah, the stuff that he
That's
filmed
really cool.
beforehand. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that it was a mutual realization of his childhood fear of these lost rivers, and also just him in real time watching a town that he greatly respects the culture of be flooded over, be pushed down, and all these buildings
Demolished
taken down and
and
everything.
burned.
Yeah, so he went and filmed as many of these buildings as he could. Like it is, even though I was saying the narrative is very loose, it has these elements that are like, well, it is a manifestation of his fear. It is a modern day kind of fairy tale, post-apocalyptic thing. It is a whatever the hell I was just talking about before that. Like, it has these things that even if, you maybe need a full-fledged plot to get you through a movie, I think there are still other things that can keep you hanging on,
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie, but not as good as Fangirl.
No.
Not as good as Fangirl.
No, there's not a lot of movies. And there's no movie like Fangirl.
There's not a lot of movies, period.
And there's no movie like Fangirl.
Which
There's only
is
one.
actually true, because even though it is a very basic, like, ABC channel original movie, it is like... It is so unfinished and so bad at landing in so many ways where it, like, genuinely just... You're sitting there like, what is happening? Like, it feels more surreal than fucking Lost River. Maybe that's why it's a good double feature, because it's like, alright, you thought that was weird.
Yeah, you thought you didn't know what was going on here. Wait till you come to a movie with basically no plot.
No context.
There's
very
no
little
real
plot.
Like, they do stuff.
There's a
And like
reward
towards the end they get a thing and do stuff.
You pick my brain and go insane.
A lacrosse team.
The lacrosse talent show. Well, so please explain. How did you find this film, Trey?
So this was me and you.
Actually, it was you and Donald.
Was it me and Donald first?
You guys showed it to me,
Okay,
yeah, because
that
you
makes
guys
sense.
created the gauntlet.
Right, yeah, because we would just hang out and we would watch just random shit on Netflix. Usually some good stuff, and then we got to a point where I was like, okay, well, let's watch something absolutely terrible. And so back in 2015, 2016, it was easy on Netflix to find these because you would just go to the teen movies.
Oh, yeah?
Because every teen movie that ended up on Netflix was like a nightmare. A lot of them weren't even teen movies.
I forgot
You would just
that's how we
get
would
bad
do it.
movies that showed up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so Fangirl was like originally an ABC Family. And then once ABC Family became like a different thing, like it was called something else, it was something for that. That's what it was. It was that thing original. And like Tina Fey produced it.
She's in one picture.
She's in a picture at the end.
At least in Mean Girls, she's in the movie a little
she's
bit.
mentioned.
They say her
the
name,
teacher
but they
was
say
Tina
like,
Fey
oh,
will be
you'll get
here.
to meet her, yeah, and then it's like not even immediately when the credits start. It's like you have to sit
Yeah,
and wait
you have to wait for the
for
credits to see
a picture of Tina with the main
Like I
cast.
said, she probably just like produced a fucking charcuterie board for the for the couple of actors.
She
like,
convinced
even
Meg
though,
Ryan to be in the movie.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Ugh.
Like that actually
Ryan is in
is
that movie.
guaranteed why Meg Ryan is in the movie at all, because Tina Fey
Yeah, let's go
was
over the
like,
cast. We got Meg Ryan, the husk
Meg
of Meg Ryan. She's covered in Botox and
looks
scar
better
tissue.
now. Looks better now than she did then.
She looked rough.
Hollywood
in
really
that one.
ruined some
Yeah,
people.
Meg Ryan
They really
god awful.
loved it. And
in
Meg
that.
Ryan was such a beautiful woman
Yeah,
too. I mean,
she's in Top Gun.
Hollywood just makes you
yeah.
fucking hate yourself, you know.
Yeah, no, she had it rough. You know, shout out Meg Ryan. I
Shout out
guess,
to Meg
I
Ryan.
guess, you know.
Yeah, I have no ill will against. I feel
Yeah, I mean,
bad
like,
that
whatever.
she's in this movie.
Yeah, like she doesn't. Her character kind of seems like she's just, I don't know, like high on Valium or something.
Very
I don't know.
unhinged,
Doesn't
like
seem right.
CO2 poisoned soccer mom.
Yeah, no, that's a good way.
Like
to put it.
that's literally it.
But yeah, Kiernan Shipka is in the movie.
Who people know now. Back then.
Well, she was in Mad Men.
That's true.
originally.
That did actually
she
put her
played
on
Don
the map.
Draper's daughter. I forget her name. Little Draper. Whatever.
But that back then though, she was like a child, you know, like on a adult show, so it wasn't even like she had a child fan base. It's
Yeah.
like she found her market with the fucking Sabrina show. That I think has given her a committed fan base.
She's got a new movie coming out, I want to say relatively soon, called Wildflower. And I just want to interject this here because it does look great.
You are, after all,
I'm a Kiernan Shipka fan.
Kiernan
I
Shipka
think,
fan.
I think she's, you know, she's giving it her all. And
she's
you know,
certainly trying.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, what was I saying? Oh, Wildflower. Yeah. So,
Let It Snow from 2019,
Oh, God,
featuring
yeah.
Kiernan Shipka.
she was in that. And also...
the only reason we watched that movie.
Oh, man, what is it called? The Man?
Well, so we had
something?
also from 2015. I'm pretty sure the Black Coat's
The Black
daughter,
Coat's
which is
Daughter,
like
yes.
like Fangirl is fun, and Fangirl does not have great like reviews or anything, but people love the Black Coat's daughter, and I'm like, they are all fucking insane.
wrong.
Like they are missing
Yeah.
pieces of their skull because it's like actually like we said that there's no plot for this, but the fucking Black Coat's daughter
If
is
you
a
can-
movie where a woman walks in a hallway and just says nothing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And everyone looks upset, and then eventually Kiernan Shipka's little kid character is older and played by Emma Roberts.
But it's only a
Who-
3-year difference.
Who looks
She
nothing.
looks 38 and she's
nothing
playing
at
like
all
the...
like Kiernan
Also, yes,
Shipka.
they could not look
Literally
less alike.
not at all identical in any way, shape, or form. I think even before Kiernan Shipka, there was like a younger one of this
Yeah, I
character,
think so.
and there was
I
like a
fell
blonde
asleep
kid
so
or like a
much.
dirty blonde like little girl.
That
And it,
movie
like,
had me
was- it
sleeping
was like
on
the
the
movie.
floor. I was laying on the floor and I
It's so
fucking
bad.
fell
That
asleep.
movie was so fucking bad. Like nothing happens the whole movie, and then it just ends. And it's over.
Yeah.
And you wonder where the last hour and 20 plus minutes went.
But people love
People
it.
love it. I don't fucking know.
Fangirl is much more deserving, I think, of this love.
Yeah. So yeah, back to the
Back to the
titular
main course here.
thing. Yeah, the real lobster tail.
The main, yes.
I mean, there's just so many iconic
Well,
moments.
so what is this movie is about? A young girl whose
Oh,
dreams come to life.
Wait, 'cause we should, so like it starts in her house where like her little brother is like he's like filming
He's
and
vlogging her
he's-
sleep.
Yeah, he's like vlogging his older sister passed out, like sacked out in her bed, in her room. He's filming, and then he like. I think
He
he
just
drops
throws
the
her
camera in
camera
a fish tank
into
or
the
the
fi-
toilet
like it-
or something.
It's not even like a whoops
like he
or
literally
a.
throws it in there.
It's
Like,
him just like standing over it, and he's like he just. It's like why?
He's like
why?
a shithead. And then so she gets angry, and then she
angry.
goes to her laptop and opens up not Tumblr, because remember 2015.
Oh, do you remember the name?
Tumblr, it's Cartwheel.
Cartwheel.
It was called Cartwheel, but it had like the Tumblr kind of like spelling
fake,
convention of like
internet.
Just the L, you know, like it kind of it's, you know, shrunk.
Not Tumblr.
It was called Cartwheel essentially.
Not Tumblr.
Not Tumblr. Because Tumblr was huge back in the day. It's not
Yeah,
as big
2015.
nowadays.
That was
back when you could still have like a booty
right at
on
the
Tumblr.
falling off point.
Yeah. And so yeah, she makes this video
Of her saying
for
happy birthday
to Alex Skarsgård from All Time Low.
Skarsgård. That
Or
was
Gaskarth?
I don't remember. I was
Gaskarth?
trying to remember his name to begin
Alex.
with. But
Alex
yeah,
G
Alex. Yeah.
from All Time Low. Everyone's
Alex
favorite
the G.
pop punk sensation.
I'm busy as a bee. I don't even think that's
I
that.
don't
That's
know.
that's fucking All American Rejects. That's not even All Time Low. I do not know an All Time Low song.
I don't.
When I think
think
of
I
when I
know
try
one.
to think of their songs, I think of All American Rejects. songs.
I don't think I could name any All Time Low song or
No.
album because
Not even in Fangirl. Like it's not like it's a
They, like, play a
multimedia
song.
movie. They play a few. They go to like
and
the
then,
concert.
They go to the concert at the end. It was spoilers. I know a lot of people are
Big
gonna be,
spoilers.
you know,
Yeah, this was
rejected.
a full-on analysis of Fangirl. So please go
Yeah,
watch
real
the
deep
movie.
cut. Probably the only one, I would say. I think we're probably
Mhm.
the only people
We
that
are.
can talk about this movie.
We're the
as
only ones.
intimately. I think I would say all of the people that produced the movie, including Tina Fey, could not tell you as much detail about the movie that
Yes, I
And that's
actually
saying
believe
something.
that.
we can. Yeah, without a doubt, I'd put money on that.
Because
but
she's
Tina
probably
Fey
was just
doesn't.
like,
She probably doesn't remember
oh,
fucking
that
thing.
thing that I just sent, like that thing that I just got like a check from ABC from. Yeah, I don't remember. What
Yeah,
that
I don't
was.
know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'd be like, Lulaferro!
I suck too much to Lulaferro.
Yeah. Oh, and we can't forget.
Some of
wish
the
I remembered-
greatest characters
I wish I
in
remembered
cinema.
the actor's name.
Oh man, yeah.
But,
Bless up to the actor for Darvan.
Yeah, Darvan.
Darvan and Hashtag are two of the greatest characters to hit the screen.
Yeah, hashtag. Wow.
I mean,
forgot
he's a
about him.
hero. He
He
takes
did
care
skate all the way to the vet for that little
for
chihuahua.
a dog that wasn't even his.
Nope. And then at the end they become a couple, and that's Tallulah Farrow's like friend.
Yeah. This is one of the great subplots.
So like basically, so she goes to school.
They
And
mention Akira Kurosawa in the film.
Yeah.
Which, even before I had ever seen a film of his, it hurt to
It's
hear.
so weird.
Even when I was 15 and heard that, I was like, oh.
So they go and do whatever, and so she goes to like this film class thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, make a video about something.
Yeah.
Like some project, and she gets partnered with the super senior because it does the teen movie archetype
Right.
thing where it's like
That's what
the
it was.
preps, the weird.
Oh, yeah.
the jocks.
She's got
Like, it
her
does all
epic
this.
bully
Yeah,
that, is
yeah.
super valley girl, like over the top.
And so they do this thing, and I think she does have some project she tries to do, and then Darvan like doesn't do anything or whatever, and he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, Tallulah Farrow, because he just calls her
full name, yes,
every time.
It's great.
It's pretty good. It's iconic even.
Very much so. Yeah.
And so they fail, or they're gonna fail, but then Darvan just uploads her video of her going "Happy Birthday, Alex" from All Time Low.
And it goes viral.
It goes
in
viral.
seconds.
Yeah, it literally in like 5 minutes, they're like, it got 1 million views on the Pharaoh, and everyone's like, ah!
I love the internet in movies.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
great,
it so
because
much.
they act like everyone's just like most obscure video on YouTube today.
All the
and it's
comments are like, love it. It's like,
yeah, it's like
I'm sure
it's being
people would
beamed
like
into
it.
millions of people's brains instantaneously.
when it's just a video of a girl
It's literally
on
her
her
like
webcam.
slump in bed, just like
Slumped the fuck
"Happy
out, just
birthday,
saying,
Alex."
happy birthday, Alex. And then, and everyone
that's
is like,
it. That's the
greatest
whole
video
video.
ever, lol.
And like they turn that in for the project too, and then everyone's like, "That was amazing!"
Oh, yeah.
Barrow.
That
And
hits the theaters.
At some point, there's like a milk fight.
There's a
they
milk
start
fight.
throwing milk.
Well, I mean, so before that, Right? She has her, because in that fight scene, she gets distracted by, like, the boy she likes. And
Yes,
that's when she gets
of course,
hit.
yeah.
But the boy...
yeah, she's pretending to be British
They,
for
so
this
they
guy.
really
yeah.
they do the really terrible... Well, no, the way they do it is awful, because they don't even convey that it is what is happening at first. They're trying to do the thing of, like, oh... I'm such an embarrassing person, but I have a crush on this person. Let me make myself look way cooler than I actually am. I'll be a smart British girl. But, like, for one, Kiernan Shipka is just a wholly confident person, clearly. Like, there is no, like, shame in the performance at all. So she just starts speaking British when this guy's around. And I remember that was, like, the first moment when I was watching the movie for the first time where I was actually like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is she British? For no reason. And they don't talk about it for, like, a good... Like, that's just what you're supposed to get.
She does it a few times where she's like... And I'm pretty sure there's a couple times where he's within earshot, where he's just like if she's right here, he's like right here.
And she just goes back to her regular voice.
And she does her regular voice.
That does happen.
And then he's like, oh, hey, Tulu. And she's like, hello, what's up? What's fucking happening? Sticky wicket. Like, you know, British whatever.
Sticky wicket.
She does say shit like that.
She does say, like, generic British gobbledygook.
So there's an epic milk fight set to pop punk music.
Yes,
it's
of course.
freaking epic. And then school just keeps going. Like
they keep going.
It didn't mean anything.
She like smells like curdled milk, and everyone's like, they all do like the like they do that joke where she just sniffs. I don't really remember the build-up, but there's a part that always sticks in my mind. I think even if like I get like, you know, Alzheimer's or something, and I like don't remember a lot, I think this will always just be like a little sticky note in there, of Tallulah handing out flyers.
Yeah.
She's like handing out flyers to people for something. I think it's for this
right
film
around
festival,
then,
whatever.
Yeah.
She's handing out flyers, and she hands it to this one girl, and she's like, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's a flyer. Is it? It's Fangirl that this happens in,
yes,
right?
yes. She hands a flyer to. I'm pretty sure that is her bully that she hands it to.
I remember being some random girl where she like hands her a flyer.
Oh, and
because like it was this character, this
that?
extra that shows up like no other time really. Maybe in the background of the milk.
I think you're right.
But, like she hands her the flyer, and she's like, "What is this?" And she's like, "Oh, it's for the spring festival. It's on like, you know, the 13th." She's like, "No, what is this?" Like holding up the paper. She's like, "It's a flyer." She's like, "Thank you," and then she just walks away.
Zoomers don't know what paper is.
It amazes me, like that someone would be so dull to be like, "What is this?"
It was written by an alien that disguises themselves as a 75-year-old.
As a businessman.
So it wasn't even written by a human or an AI. It was like someone observing humanity.
I would love to see if I could like get ChatGPT or whatever it's called to absorb all of Fangirl and then rewrite it into a perfect movie and see what it could do. That would be fun.
Yeah, a Godfather.
Try to create the best version of Fangirl from any alternate universe using AI. That's the goal.
Possible. There's a good movie in there.
There's a good movie already.
It's just that it doesn't... Like, again, there's so many jokes. Like, I remember... You know, I made a joke with Anthony earlier that the movie is kind of like a Rorschach test in how it, like, pisses you off. Like, everyone... There's, like, a little moment for every individual that will, like, make them more mad than other parts. And I remember for you made it, like... The little brother who throws out the camera for like the last half of the movie is just dressed up like Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's for like a project, but it never amounts to anything.
They don't
He's
like
just Ben
do
Franklin.
anything. They don't like do a bit where they dress him up as Ben Franklin or like she helps him and they like bond and be siblings. No.
He's just Ben
They're
Franklin.
just playing video games on the couch. And he's like gaming hard, like open mouth, like glassy eyes, just like gaming as Benjamin Franklin with a bald cap and everything. And she's just like, "Cool, you got your project done?" He's like, "Later," and she's like, "Cool." And then she goes and does whatever she does, and then for like a couple other scenes, he's just Benjamin Franklin.
In like one of the last scenes when like
he's just Benjamin Franklin.
Like a classic scene at the end of a high school movie where like the two lead characters, they're gonna go on their first like date, and again, like in this conclusive scene, like the last time you ever fucking see this kid. He's just Ben Franklin.
He's been with the little glasses, the bald cap, and like thin wispy hair, and like the fucking
blue and yellow, yes.
Like fucking colonial coat, and he's just Benjamin Franklin. And
that's it.
There's also that same part at the end. The boyfriend guy like brings like a fish. He brings a fish in a bag, and he's like holding the bag like normal. Like if you had a fish in a bag from the fucking carnival, you're like millions of people have done this. So, like if you're holding the fish in the bag, right, and you're gonna give it to someone, you hold it, right, and he's just holding it, and it just blows up, and like the plastic explodes, like he's fucking white knuckling this poor fish's home.
So they can do the whole like, it's so awkward.
And the fish like slams onto the porch and is like dying. The brother's just like, I've got it. He needs water, stat, and like skitters off.
And then Tallulah and the boyfriend just kind of like laugh. They're like, that was funny.
Like, what? Oh, and then they go on, and then the movie ends or something.
But yeah, now we got to go all the way back since we skipped so much of the incredible journey. So yeah, she has to go make or wait, you know what? No, this would be a good time. So let's see. We were reversing back in time to sort of where the first act of Fangirl leaves off, because she gets the challenge to make the film. She has this bully. She's a bit of an outcast. She's kind of a quirky girl. She's not like the other girls, and she has to make this. Darvan, posts that video, and then they assume, okay, the big epiphany, I should say, is all right, let's frick making a plot film, a freaking narrative. Let's make an epic concert film with All Time Low, and then they embark on an adventure
to see All Time Low.
But they don't really. It's not even a road trip movie like that. She literally is just like, oh, maybe I can film them anyway. Here's my mom.
And so then you're introduced to Meg Ryan's character. At some point, Tallulah returns home. It's not when she returns home early, right? Because doesn't she leave?
No,
early?
she does. Are you talking about when she like sees her mom naked or whatever?
Yeah, well, at some point she returns home and her mom is like setting up a Facebook page.
She's taking naked selfies like with her door open.
Yeah, she's taking nude selfies and trying to like figure out poses, and it's like it's dusty old bones made of green dust.
Oh no. Oh no. Roasted.
It's like the King of the Hill thing. Dusty old bones made of green dust. It's like some kid that harasses Hank. Anyways, she's like taking nude photos for some reason. I guess we could just go with the mom's plot a little bit because it's not much.
Oh please.
She really so she goes.
She gets drunk and gets a tattoo of Cat Stevens, which she instantly regrets.
Yes, she does do that. She
also
she goes on a date. Scene. She goes on a date with like this random guy, and they get in the back of this limo for whatever reason. Actually, no. So she's shopping, right? So before she meets this guy, she's shopping at the store. She's gonna go put the groceries in the car in the trunk, and so she like pulls out the oranges and she drops the oranges everywhere. So then this guy, Mr. Big Britches, comes over and he's like, "Oh, here's your orange," and she's like, "Thanks, guy," and then like small talk ensues, and so eventually they go on this date where they're in a limo. I don't remember what the date was. I think they were just drinking. They just like got some drinks at a bar, maybe dinner.
Very weird.
Anyways, they get in the back of this limo. It's not a taxi, it's a limo. It's like a whole stretch limo.
They went to prom.
Yeah, and so they get in, and then the guy like pulls out an epic joint, and he pulls out a joint for them to smoke in this limo, which is not something you should do. If you were in a limo, like you were just renting a limo, that's not your guy driving. Like you don't have like ownership of this guy's like job or anything. Like you're renting this limo. Don't smoke a joint in the limo. That's not a good idea.
No.
You really shouldn't do it. Period in the limo. But they do nonetheless, and they drink more, I think, and then. I don't remember if they kiss. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Because for clarity, we
it's hard to watch.
You know, we've also seen it like 8 times. Oh well, yes, no, it's. I thought you were saying it's hard to watch. Literally, it's a joy to watch.
It's a wonderful movie to watch,
but it's hard to find now. It was on Netflix.
It was on Netflix when we watched it. It left. I want to say 2017, 2018 maybe.
It was on Hulu for a minute too.
Same with Perfect Sisters, which is
much worse. Not as because there was this. I mentioned it earlier. The Gauntlet, which was this idea of essentially the Infinity Stones making up the ultimate gauntlet of the worst movies ever made. And you know, each of us we've all kind of watched so many of our own bad movies that I feel like we all kind of have our own gauntlet. But Fangirl is one that is like. It is like the undisputed, like
it's
that
like
is
the main one.
It is.
Like,
it literally is.
It's the main.
It's the main one.
Gauntlet.
Absolutely.
It's not a. Okay, it's a bad movie, but it's not a.
It's harmless. Movie. It's harmless. It's not like ruining anyone's life by. It's not like taking the memory of a dead person and like bastardizing them.
It's not like someone's grabbing someone's pet rat and cutting it into pieces with scissors.
I wish it had more of that though.
No, that ABC Family.
Like the same year that in 2019, the same year that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, there was The Haunting of Sharon Tate. Which was just like a torture porn and weirdly like mystical take on her and it just is her getting murdered and it's like look at how fucking cool and dark it was. It's like dog, it's like a woman who was killed horrifically and others too like that's there's reasons to bring light to it but that's shouldn't like. You know, there's a difference between that glorifying something. So yeah, a Fangirl doesn't have anything like that. It's very harmless. You know, it's not fun. It's not ruining anyone's life. And it's fun to watch. Movie. It is fun to watch, even though none of the jokes land.
No,
like again, you can tell what they're trying to do.
When Darvan, like they kind of fast forward a bit. Darvan,
when he sucks too much.
He sucks too much. He's got like so they kind of hatch this plan.
This epic plan.
They go into this hotel where they find out All Time Low is staying in the room below them. And so they plan to basically lower Darvan down with like some plungers taped to his body so that he sticks.
It's one of the best parts.
He like sucks to the door to like go get the ticket or VIP passes. Yeah. It's just like something All Time Low related. For the project, of course.
This is for the project to break into their hotel room.
And so Darvan like you know, he like gets on there and he's like, I suck too much like Little Barrow!
And then they steal their girlfriend's clothes.
Yeah, they go down and they steal. Okay, well, first of all, Darvan gets taken by All Time Low. They open the door and they're like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh! And then like they like pull him off and it's off screen. You don't hear it. You just see Tallulah and her like fucking friend just like. So. And so they break in and steal VIP passes or something, and then the clothes.
And they're pretty much rewarded for that.
Yeah,
too, 'cause
like the guy Alex from the show. Okay, well
he meets them and it's like, hey, want to come to the concert? But we do have to address the highlight scene,
the main ingredient
of the film.
It's really a stellar scene that I think if I were to ever teach
it is formative.
If I were to ever teach a class on something, I'd probably just show this, even if it has nothing to do with film.
Absolutely.
So Tallulah goes to her favorite local coffee shop, as everyone has, instead of just going to the Starbucks. So they go, or she goes in, and the two owners are like these, you know, kind of, they're characters, you know, they're goofy, they're what's the word here? They're like
very
loud,
exaggerated.
You know, they exaggerate a bit, and they goof off. They have fun. They like to have fun.
Oh yes.
And so they're like talking, and somehow it gets around to one of them going like the little Janssen.
I don't remember
I don't
why.
know why. He's
It's
just like making a small dick joke.
And
for
it's
some
also
reason.
like Tallulahpharaoh enters the shop and they're already having this
Yeah, they're already
conversation.
talking
It's
about
actually
something.
very natural in that way,
It
weirdly,
really does
where
feel like a couple people just running
they
a shop.
sort of invite her into the conversation. It's not like they start a joke once she arrives in that weird like full circle way of them not trying to do like a weird zonky scene. They actually made something kind of slightly
charming.
realistic to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, a little charming. You could
Even
say.
though the characters are both like, they're some of the only other black people in the movie, and yeah, they
I
are
think
just
Darvan.
two. It's
and
just
then
Darvan,
the two at the coffee
who
shop.
is
really.
also extremely over exaggerated, but not
They're the only
as
minorities
like
in the movie. Really, everybody's just like white. I'm pretty sure.
they may actually be the.
I'm pretty sure
the
everybody
only
but
ones, yes.
Darvan and then the two people running the
That
coffee
might
shop.
that might be correct. Oh no, and the fucking bus driver who could not be more of a just Chinese stereotype. Like his
Yeah,
voice is
wow.
clearly like not his real voice. He's
Yeah.
literally just like he hates hashtag. He
hates
doesn't let
hashtag.
the white boy on the
Yeah,
bus.
you can't do the voice. You can't do the voice. It really will.
It's literally like
It's
that.
like a
yeah,
caricature.
It
It's
is literally
bad.
like a
He just-
1920s. That if you've ever seen the fucking thing from what is it? Breakfast at Tiffany's. How there's just one. Yeah, it's like that. And he's not there often, thankfully.
Yeah, just a couple bits. And there's like this subplot with this girl doing driver's ed with this drill instructor teacher.
Oh,
also, there's like a
man.
point earlier where like
forgot
they
about
make
him.
this girl like seem like she's really into the hot like drill instructor teacher. Do you remember this? Because this was weird. I remember this distinctly because it was fucking strange.
The friend?
So, no, it wasn't the friend. It was like this like really meek girl, like the one that ends up in the driver's instructor.
Okay, yeah,
so like
yeah.
there's a part where it's like going to like all their inner thoughts, right, of all the different people in the class, and like it shows her and she's like twirling her hair, just kind of like looking at the fucking like the drill instructor teacher, and then later on they're doing driver's ed, and she's freaking out. Because he's yelling and she's like, like stopping, starting, reverse, and all that. And then, I don't know. Do they like hit? Do they hit the dog then? I think that's when they hit the dog.
Or well, eventually, because I know he yells at her a lot, like just regularly for any stop. Because I don't think you see the dog get hit. I think
You don't
just
see it. It's more just like the dog runs out and they play like a sound.
people start running with the dog, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess the dog needs help now.
Yeah, and hashtag scoops up the dog.
Hashtag-
He thinks it's his fault or something.
He's also very bad at chemistry.
Yes, he's quite bad at
and
it.
they predicted the fucking Reddit crypto to the moon. They literally predict that in Fangirl.
Right.
Because
I
their
forgot
chemistry.
about that. The,
everyone in
drugged out
class.
teacher.
And all the students, their like class catchphrase is "to the moon."
Yeah. They
But
literally
hashtag.
do like the Reddit thing.
He's
yeah.
got no time for that shit though. He's got to save this dog.
Yeah, so he goes to save this dog by skateboarding all the way to the vet's office.
It's so good.
Which, when you're
One
surrounded
of the
by
best.
people that have vehicles and access to vehicles
That
at this school, and
They won't
everybody
let
just
him
saw
on,
this
though.
dog get harmed,
They won't let him on. No
just
one likes him.
you gotta ride the skateboard to the vet's office
Yeah.
to save this dog. That's not yours. So the girl whose dog this is, she has to
never
like
gave
hoof
a
it.
fuck.
She has to hoof it to the veterinarian's office now, right? And hashtag's already there, and he's like, oh no.
It's
And
a
then-
very touching
And
scene.
then, like, the dog's fine. They just put, like, a bandage around its leg, like, lazily. Just, like, you can tell they didn't want to fuck with the dog too much, so they just kind of, like, daintily put it around its leg and just
Yes, it's
carried
so
it out,
good.
and the dog's just...
And it looks, the dog
The dog's
looks
fine, like, obviously.
totally
Like, it
fine,
just has a
yeah.
little bandage on its leg, and it's not even wrapped around all the way. It's, like, hanging off. And so then hashtag and this, like, Tallulah's friend... are like a couple now, and Tallulah's been like after the guy that she's been doing the accent
But then
around.
she becomes like the worst person ever. Like once he starts getting a crush on her and has left her like I mean, once he's left his like very generic high school movie bully girlfriend, he starts, you know, going after Tallulah, and then she instantly is like blowing him off and all this shit, and then he does this big talent show performance for her, and she films it for a second. They do the like dramatic like panning in, like, oh, he is in love, she's in love, it's getting close because she's in love, but then like then she just leaves, and then she goes to fucking break into the hotel with Darman because Sonic the Hedgehog.
Not Darman, Darvan.
Or Darvan, yeah, the other one. But Sonic the Hedgehog like tells them about a bully or something too, and someone. Right? Isn't Sonic the Hedgehog in that movie? Doesn't he interrupt the talent show? Wasn't there like a little kid?
Sonic the Hedgehog? No, I remember.
Maybe I'm bleeding together too many bad high school movies now.
But I do distinctly remember that something we've skipped over. So there was a girl that they talked about earlier. I forget the character's name. Who goes earlier in the movie? She goes to a different school, and she's known as the most popular girl at their school, but she doesn't even go there. Okay, so that's the joke at first. And then she goes to the school.
No, that's what I was thinking of.
And then she's just there. And then, like, at some point, people get to know her, and Tallulah's, like, nice to her, and they're kind of friends-ish. And she's around. And then, like, the bully girl that has, like, the ponytail.
Yeah.
She, like, makes fun of her or something, and she's like, you're not even real or something. I don't know. And so, at some point, the new girl who was like the most popular, she like comes in dressed as like a goth punk rocker
just for that
and
scene.
Just like walks in to like the like and she's like walking in. She runs up in the school, just walks through the front door of the school with a pair of scissors and cuts the popular girl's ponytail clean off. And then her friend's like and she's like, what?
And Sonic runs through in that scene to go like, she lost her hair, but
I know
she gets introduced like because a kid runs through the school and it's like Chelsea is here because she's like really popular on the internet or something. Yeah, the Wojak.
It's horrible. Yeah. Man, yeah, so she just like runs in with a pair of scissors and cuts this girl's ponytail, and then she's just like a punk rocker. At some point, the bus gets filled with like soapy suds. Do you remember that? The bus gets filled up with a bunch of soapy suds. I don't remember why that happens. I think hashtag was getting back at the bus driver. Using his slight chemistry knowledge to cause havoc.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
I think so. He
does the epic prank.
He's an arc, and there's this part that we already like passed this timeline wise, but we've been bouncing all.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we still have the formative scene to crack down. You know, there's a lot of it takes a lot to analyze this movie. You know, it's like the board with the fucking.
Actually, yeah, well, let's just do that because I was just gonna talk about the scene where she just like walks home and starts pouting. Because she like ripped her jeans or something.
After she fell over. That's at the end of the first act. She
like falls.
You know, her shirt's got some milk on it. The project isn't going the way she planned. Darvan posted the video, and the music is like, and I said I'm sorry, and she literally like everything turns yellow, and it's like watching her hand as it glides past the fence. Can you stay here?
But so let's go back. So she goes to the coffee shop.
Yes, with the two Jamaican stereotypes that are just going.
They might just be
Little Johnson.
But yeah, they are played up.
I remember they had a lot of like Jamaican merch in the place, and it was like a wooden hut of
it had an aesthetic to it. But anyway, so she's in there getting her coffee, and then she's jibber jabbering, she's laughing, she's and like they're getting coffee. And so then none other than her boy Alex Gascarth.
Something.
Gassy Scarf something.
Gassy Scarves.
Alex G. From All Time Low, he comes in and they're like, coffee for Alex, and so he's like, thanks. And they said her name, Tallulah. And so he looks at her and he goes, Tallulah, this is a sweet name. And she goes, throw up. anything could happen, and then he leaves. He just walks out.
And then she's like, I'm so embarrassed. Mm-hmm. But that was another moment where it's like, when you watch that in real time, it's another part where your brain just cracks.
It feels like someone like kind of punches you over the back of your head. Like, you're not supposed to get hit in the back of your head, you know? So like, it's rough. It's a rough one. You're seeing stars and maybe black spots in your vision.
Yeah.
But you might rewind it a few times to experience
you do
it
need
again.
it.
You fill in the spots as you watch it more, but
Absolutely.
it still doesn't make sense once you get the full picture. It's the dialogue makes no sense. No one involved knows what's going on, and it just kind of happens. And
But
then
it's
afterwards,
amazing.
she goes outside and she's like throwing a temper tantrum, and then fights with her friend over nothing, and then that's the point of the movie. It's like supposed to be the teen movie trend where the friends fight and split up, but they don't really have like a resolution. They just kind of get mad, and then like
they stop arguing,
and then they're just fine. Like they
and then they go and break into his hotel.
Yeah, they break into a hotel room and
no
to go to an all-time low concert. There's none. There's no repercussions for anything. And like it just feels like a bunch of different like sticky notes kind of like filmed.
It is,
and then they sewn it together.
Again,
somehow.
much more surreal than Lost River.
It's a lot more to take in. It's rough.
Absolutely.
It's not great.
But it is a classic. It is a formative film in our lives and our friendship, and it will always remain to be.
It's a great movie.
It's a great film.
Everyone should watch it.
Everyone should watch it. Please
watch Lost River first.
That would probably be better, but you know, hey, I can't control
you. If you want to watch it the other way, get like a fun taste in your mouth, and then watch something, you know, actually, you know, competent and well crafted.
Watch Fangirl.
What? You should just watch Apocalypse Now.
Watch Apocalypse Now. That's a good one.
It's the best movie ever made.
Thank you, Trey, for joining me here. I know you gotta get out of here.
I got a flight to catch.
We got plenty of footage though. This will be a nice meaty one. A great first guest episode. I
feel like I slouched
enjoyed,
a lot, so it's good for the.
Oh, it's okay. I'm in encrypted pose every time.
Like
You've been in frame. I think for these last few, I've probably been.
Like doing this,
I've probably been out
like
of frame.
All the pollen in the air has been fucking good.
Oh yeah. No, I'm right there with you. So thank you for joining me. I can't wait for the next one where we talk about the 2006 Hitman movie starring Timothy Olyphant, who sadly could not save that film. I have just sprung this onto him now, so you are seeing this in real time. I mean, you don't have to, but I am talking about that someday.
I really have to see it again because it's like every time you've described what happens in it to me, I'm just like, bald man gun. Bald man gun. He'd do bald man gun thing. What did movie do?
It's pretty crazy.
Because I love the games, but the movie
games are a lot of fun.
It really was such a
well, they were also based on the like edgelord games too, so it kind of wasn't taken from the best material.
Yeah.
But it is taken from material that I find hilarious.
It's hilarious. Hilariously bad. Oh.
Got him. So do you suck too much?
I suck too much to Lula Farrow, and you know, I'll just say this: the effect that Fangirl has legitimately had on my life and sense of humor, and my outlook on movies. Because I think it got me more involved in how movies are just created. To be honest, because I couldn't believe that one had been created. Like the fact that someone could commit something like that, and money went into that somewhere somehow.
Astronomical sin.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some good talents in it, such as Kiernan Shipka.
Meg Ryan.
Maybe that kid is going to play Ben Franklin someday. That could be fun.
Maybe he will. I would love that.
That would be fun. That would be
He's
good.
Clearly committed to the role.
Yeah. If I ever had a daughter, I'd probably name her Tallulah. I think it's a beautiful name. It's a great name for a character.
Penelope Tallulah Farrow.
It's an underutilized name. It's the movie put me onto that name.
Oh no!
Not under great circumstances.
We crashed the program. We put the program back. Ronald Reagan put crack in black neighborhoods, and now we got Lee. So honestly, we got him to lead. Steal your mama's credit card for lean. Steal your mama's credit card for lean. Buy some lean with it. Go.
Hello? Hey guys? What? Where did everyone go? Selfie.